So Cardi dropped, right? Which is huge news. It's been so anticipated, so hyped. There's a new album, and it's called Music. And this is going to change everything for everyone because it used to be if you asked somebody, hey man, what are you doing? And they were like, oh, I'm listening to music. That could have meant they were listening to anything. If you say you're listening to music now, people are going to assume you're listening to Playboi Carti, even if you're not. This just changes the game, right? But it goes a step further. The rabbit hole goes deeper, I promise, because the album art for the album Music is this image. Now, this could be the album self-identifying as music, or it could be Playboi Carti declaring that he himself is music. And if it is the latter, the album is music, Playboi Carti is now music, and then we also have this third thing, which is the concept of music as it has existed for thousands of years. So again, if you say, I'm listening to music, 2 out of 3 times, people are going to assume you're either listening to Playboi Carti's new album or one of his other albums. And then the third thing they might assume is any other song that's ever been written. The ripples of this will be felt for generations to come. And that's that. Hello there. Welcome back to the second installment of Show and Tell. If you missed the first installment, Show and Tell is a kind of monthly roundup, wrap-up, recap that I do, where I will show you some pictures from my previous month, my adventures, my travels, my activities, and then I will tell you the story behind the pictures. This is the second episode. It is a February recap, and you might be asking yourself, Stefan, it's the middle/end of March. What do you mean this is the February recap? Sorry, this episode is coming in a little bit late. I was in Cabo at the end of last month for my cousin's wedding. Shout out to Brittany and Brandon. And as soon as I got back, as soon as I got off the plane, I got sick. If that's not a metaphor for the state of affairs in this country, I don't know what is. But now I'm feeling better, so I'm up to the task of making the video. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First image is a screenshot from the Huckberry Instagram. And it is a photo of me. You may remember in the last installment where I talked about going to Marfa, and I was a little bit cagey as to why I was there. Well, this is why I was there. I was doing a photo shoot for Huckberry, specifically for their brand Flint and Tinder. And this is one of the photos. I love this photo. We shot this during the sunrise. It was a little bit chilly out in Terralingua, Texas at 8 a.m. on a winter's day. But nonetheless, you would never know. You would never know how cold I was based on this photo. The next photo is another picture. This was a little bit later in the afternoon. I am wearing less clothes in this photo. It was still very chilly, maybe like 20 degrees outside. But I really love these photos. It was a super fun shoot. Shout out to everybody over there at Huckberry for making this happen. And yeah, I had a great time out in Texas. I think I look very handsome. Oh, these are ads. These are both ads that I've been served on Instagram. And every time I see one of these ads, I'm like, wow, this guy looks so familiar. And then I'm like, oh, that's me, which is fun. It's been fun. I really like seeing myself in ads. I would like seeing myself anywhere. I'm pretty fond of myself in a healthy, non-like megalomaniac way. Is that the right word, megalomaniac? I think I'm thinking of narcissistic, but maybe megalomania is similar to narcissism. Somebody look it up. I'm not gonna look it up. Those are our first 2 photos. Let's go on to the next. Okay, wow. So in my previous 2 photos, I had my hair braided. I took my hair out because I wanted to get it cut before my cousin's wedding, which I mentioned at the top. This picture is me with my hair detangled, and it is quite massive. I am fully rocking this cowboy hat, big hair. I'm in the company of people like Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm in the company of people like Slash, right? There's worse company out there, I will say. Those are 2 iconic men. And then there's me. It's like almost Mount Rushmore. If you know the 4th curly-haired top hat or cowboy hat wearing man to complete our Mount Rushmore, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to get on that, really start making some headway into the new Mount Rushmore of curly-haired cowboy-hatted men. But yeah, so this is also a paired image because right after this picture, the next day I took this picture. The hair is smaller, considerably smaller. Shout out to my hairstylist, Shantia. Yeah, I think it's a great cut. I think it might be the best haircut I've ever gotten. Looks great with the cowboy hat. Looks great in braids as it is right now. And maybe you'll see it not in braids sometime soon, but I hadn't gotten my hair cut before that since December of 2023. So it was over a year of hair growth. All right, let's get on to our next image. Okay, wow. This is some pretty hard-hitting stuff. This is a screenshot I took from a post in, I just realized you can see that I downvoted this. But this is a post from r/Kendrick Lamar. I am on Reddit, unfortunately. And this is a post that says, what if Kendrick Lamar was hungry? And then it says, like, what if he had a song called Gobble Up? Which is obviously a reference to his song Squabble Up. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty hard-hitting question. What if he was hungry? And the crazy thing about this question is that he's probably hungry about 2 to 3 times a day. I think he's talked about intermittent fasting in a song, actually. So he's probably hungry a lot if he's intermittently fasting. Is that how you say that word, intermittently? I don't know. I had a double IPA. All of this could be wrong. I could not even be speaking English right now. Have you seen that gif of Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, going through the cosmos and kind of like going on a trip? That's how I feel every time I have an IPA. And today was no exception. We're moving on. Our next image. This is me at LAX, waiting for my flight. I've got my cowboy hat in my lap, and I've got my huge Doc Marten boots on. Shout out to Doc Marten. And one thing you may or may not know about cowboy hats, if you've never traveled with a cowboy hat, you can't really put it in your bags. It's kind of too big for that. So you have to like wear it in the airport, and you have to also carry all your bags. It's a little bit cumbersome is what I'm trying to convey to you. Yeah, it's a little bit much. I'm not going to lie. Every time I travel with it, you see people with regular baseball caps, and you're like, man, why couldn't I just be one of those guys? Why am I one of these guys, you know? But, you know, really I feel honored to be in the company of cowboy-hatted individuals. What does Irving say in Severance when he sees Bert? He's like, fellow sophisticate. That's how I feel when I see somebody in a cowboy hat. I'm like, you get it. You really get it. All right, moving on. Okay, so here is me in my cowboy hat holding a Modelo. And this is, if you can believe it or not, this is on the car ride from the Cabo Airport to the Airbnb we were staying at. He was like, do you want Mexican water in the car? You know, cerveza. And then I was like, you know I want some of that Mexican water, aka cerveza. So I had a Modelo. I'm a big fan of Modelo. Shout out to Batman. He drinks Modelo. If you know, you know. Howdy there, folks. Editing Stefan here. I just used a phrase in the video. I say Batman drinks Modelo, and then I go like, if you know, you know. And I was editing the video, and I was like, I wonder if people will know what this means. So I looked it up. I looked up the phrase Batman drinks Modelo, and there's one usage of this phrase online, and it's in the description of a YouTube video, which is McGee performing at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. I've been referencing this idea of Batman drinking Modelo as if it's like a thing in the McGee community to say this. It's not. It's in one video. There's no other usage of this phrase online. So I just want to issue a quick apology for using the phrase, if you know, you know, in regards to a thing that absolutely no one has any reason to know. So that's my bad. Back to the video. The car ride over was a lot of fun. I think from here on out, all the pictures are going to be Cabo pictures. So brace yourself for some beach time vibes and also inebriated Stefan vibes. I apologize in advance to my teetotaling members of the audience. Okay, next picture. So this is me and my parents and my brother and his girlfriend right before we went to the white party. Super fun. Got to see some of my cousins, got to see some of my aunts and my uncles. A lot of family, had a lot of fun. And if you want to know how much fun I have, the next picture is actually an indication of that. So this photo is me at the end of the white party evening. We went to get food after because we were all very hungry. And I was probably 5 spicy margaritas deep at this point. Got a nice vein going pretty strong in the middle of my forehead, which is really just an indication that I'm like a passionate individual, I think. But yeah, if you were my phone in my hand that night, this is how I was looking at you. If you were food that night, this is how I was looking at you. Watch out. You get me around enough spicy margaritas, I'm going to look at you like this. Okay, next picture. So we went on a sunset cruise one evening, and then the next morning we went on the same boat, but just like a private, just like boat ride. We saw so many whales. I have never seen a whale up close in my entire life, and I saw like 20 to 30 whales while I was in Mexico. It was crazy. We met some people on the beach who said they saw a whale superhighway. And that, I don't know what that means, but they did say that they saw that. But yeah, this is me on the beach. I think I was pointing at a whale in this picture. I have my camera on my hip. I've got my bare feet out, which will be censored in the YouTube video, but I'm looking at my feet regularly. You're gonna have to pay extra for that. There's nothing quite like just being on a boat and then somebody's like, hey, do you want a drink? And it's like, it's 10 a.m., but yes, I do. So that was me on the boat. This is me in the water. I don't know if you've ever seen like Olympic level swimming, like Michael Phelps, you might have heard of him. This is what he looks like in the off season. This is a man who is so comfortable in the water. I've got a huge bird in front of me. We're just hanging out, laughing, having a great time. I look like an NPC in this photo. I look like I'm, you know, just waiting for you to swim up as the main character, and I'll be like, water's great. Oh, don't forget to go over by the rocks over there. There's some cool stuff. And then you go over there and there's like a loot chest for you to find. Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit uncomfortable in the water. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the best swimmer, if you couldn't tell from what I'm saying. I'm not the best swimmer at all. It's crazy being in the ocean. It's absolutely insane. I hadn't been in the ocean in years. It's so much water there. Anyway, I was having a little bit of trouble with the snorkel. I've always kind of struggled in water since I was a little kid. My parents said that when they would bathe me as a baby and the water would touch my forehead, I'd get a little bit psyched out, you know? When water touches my face still, I'm overcoming those baby instincts. And you might be like, Stefan, you're 29. And I'd be like, yeah. And baby instincts are deep rooted. Clearly, they're some of the first instincts you have. Next image, cowboy hat on my lap in Cabo, on the beach, sprawled out, got my feet out. Those are gonna be censored. I mean, yeah, what more could you want? Sitting in the sun for hours, playing Balatro, dude. I was playing Balatro on the beach in Cabo, bro. Say that 3 times fast. Next picture. So I wanted to get some video of the sunset. I'll put the video that I took up on the screen right now. So me and my parents on our last full day there, we walked down to the beach and caught the sunset. And here is a picture that my mom took of me that kind of looks like I'm explaining where my camera should be pointing to my camera. I think what I was trying to do is block the sun from my camera, but as you can see, my camera is pointed at the sun. So sticking my hand out to the side of it isn't really doing much of anything, but you know, we respect the effort. Really cool to see the sunset over the water, especially just glinting off the water, beautiful. The light changing. I was taking time lapse of the sunset on the beach in Cabo. I lost the flow, I lost it, but this was cool. It was nice, it was really nice. Okay, we're on to our final 2 images. This is a picture of me in front of, as you might be able to tell, in front of a little rook, I believe. It's not a rook, it's a knight, sorry. Sorry to all my Queen's Gambit fans out there. I posed for this picture. My dad took this picture. Here I am kneeling behind it. And the reason I took this picture is because of this picture, which is me with a knight in St. Lucia when I was in 2nd grade. We took all these photos at that resort with the chess pieces, and it's kind of this sort of like iconic photo from that trip. I just remember this moment. I remember sitting and posing for this picture. And so when we saw the chess pieces in Cabo, I was like, oh, I have to get a picture, right? And so, yeah, kind of a full circle moment. Just a fun memory. Just a fun, fond memory. Well, those are my February highlights. I had a good month. The wedding was so beautiful. I'm so happy for my cousin, Brittany, and her new husband, Brandon. They're a lovely couple. I really enjoyed spending some time with them out there. Really enjoyed spending time with all of my family. It was so much fun. And the rest of the month in February was good. I shot this music video that I really am happy with. It, I think, came out really well. Yeah, I'm getting back into reading a little bit more now. I'm reading before bed again, which is great. It was a really good month. I'm sorry this video is coming out so late, but I hope y'all had good months as well. Let me know in the comments your favorite memories from your February. And yeah, I will see you in not so long for the March installment of Show and Tell. This has been Show and Tell episode 2. My name is Stefan, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.